Okay na?
Naka-record na.
Okay na, naka-record na.
Okay. Simula ko na. Good day everyone. I am Completo Antonio and I am with Miami Jill Hill and Joella Jabir, and this is presentation of Group 4. We're going to discuss communication for various purposes. Open cam ba?
Ewan ko, sabi niyo, open ka.
Okay, sige. Sorry. Next po. So, at the end of this presentation, we are expected to meet the following outcomes. Communication various purposes. Learning outcomes by convey ideas through oral, audio, visual, and or web-based. Presentation for different target audience in local and global setting using appropriate registers. Create clear, coherent, and effective communication materials. Present ideas persuasive using appropriate language registered tune, visual expression, and gesture of awareness of audience and context in present ideas. Next po. In this presentation, we are going to talk about the outline. Purpose of communication, types of speeches and public speaking, basic types of speech according to purpose of speech, several ways of civiling speech. Next po. Define communication. According to McFarland, communication is a process of meaningful interaction among human beings. More specifically, it is the process by which meanings are perceived and understanding are reached among human beings. Newman and Sommer define communication as an exchange of facts, ideas, opinions, or emotion by two or more of person. In simple terms, communication is the process of passing information from one person to another. The purpose of communication understands of information whatever one to say to someone should be clearly understood by him, else the every purpose of the communication would be defeated. In an organization facility, in a organization facility, the flow of information and understanding between different people and departments through different media using all the channels and network. Communication does help understand people better, removing misunderstanding and creating clarify of thoughts and expression. It also educates people. The communication may be written on oral, formal, informal, and upward, downward, horizontal, diagonal, interpersonal, intrapersonal, interdepartmental, or intra-organization. The communication brings people together closer to each other. Information is the most vital aspect for communication. It is the information which is transmitted, studied, analyzed, and interpreted and stored. Next po.
Various of pervasive information. From the word itself, inform. It means to inform the audience or the people around us on what we are trying to say. An informative speech can be first be defined as a speech based entirely and exclusively on facts. Basically, an informative speech conveys knowledge, a task that every person engages in every day in some form or another. So, what is the importance of the various purposes of information? The speech must be informative so that the audience will put focus and will listen to it on what you are saying. You should make the audience pay attention to you. And in informative communication, when we are talking to someone, when we are reporting, representing, or talking, we want the receiver to pay attention and understand us, but not to change the behavior. The purpose of informative speech is to impart new knowledge. The speech should be consist of an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. Ayan. Example, ano nga ba ay what will happen when a speech is not informative? For example, in informative way, a manager in a retail store giving a presentation to her staff about how to explain a new product line to customers. So, this is one of the things that common today, no? Selling. Almost 50% of my friends in Facebook is doing online selling. So the seller should be good in promoting his or her products so that the buyer can pay attention, and it will lead to 80% chance of sure sale. If the seller is not informative or don't focus on the information of the product, there will be a possibility that the outcome will fail because the buyer will not pay attention. It is simply called sales talk. No? An informative lecture is something that contains useful, helpful, or relevant information or details. A lecture in which you learn a lot in an example of an informative lecture. Okay, next. An informative speech is one that intends to educate audience on a particular topic. Like what we are doing now, no? We are the speaker and you are the audience. And we should be very informative in our discussion for you to listen to us and pay attention. There are many different types of informative speeches, including speeches that describe the condition of a subject and speeches that instruct the audience on how to perform an action. So there are different types of an informative speech. Okay. So there are two types. Actually, there are two types of informative speech. One is all you have to do is explain to the audience to inform them, and the other one is with action, no, yung we need to demonstrate the things that we are trying to explain or say to the audience or the listener or receiver, because not everyone it is how you will handle the situation it must be very informative. For example, your audience is deaf or can't understand what you're saying. Sometimes you need to demonstrate or to act what you are saying for them to understand. And it must be an informative way.
Various purposes of purposive. Purposive communication is a 3-unit course that develops students communicate, confidence, and enhance their culture and interact culture or awareness. Example, next po. The selection of sample of universities in the United States that represent a cross-section of U.S. universities using expert knowledge of the population of the decide with characteristic. Next po. Persuasive communication is any message that is intended to shape, reinforce, or change the response to another or other such response or modified by symbolic transactions. Message which sometimes but not always linked with the coercive force, interactly coercive, and switch appeal to reason and emotion of the target. Next po. Example of persuasive communication. Research and businesses proposal, persuasive message. Next po.
So the various purposes of argumentative is that various purposes of argumentative, in addition to there being several basic styles, nag-e-echo ang topic. Hello? It's clear na. So, various purposes of argumentative is that various purposes of argumentative, in additional to there being several basic styles of academic arguments, there are actually several purposes for arguments as well, because different situations calls for different structures or focuses. It's a good idea to think that, I mean, to think about your purpose in your argument, what you're trying to argue, and which structure might work best in your situation. So in other words, purpose of an argument essay is to organize and present our reason or a conclusion in order to pursue that the audience to us to accept and or at least seriously consider your point of view. And the important of the purpose of argument is that an argument has two purpose pala po, which is change people's to point of view or persuade them to accept new points of view and persuade people to a particular action or new behavior. Next po. Example, the former Prime Minister David Cameron has been accused of being argumentative and disputatious, a word which can be defined as having a tendency to disagree with other people in an angry way or argue with others. So, the next, ano po, yung other example po niyan, yung, wait lang, yung parang, di ba po, pag the word itself po yung argument is, most people would agree that junk food is bad for our health or in your health rather. Because junk food is bad for your health, the size of sodas offered at fast food restaurant. So it should be regulated by the federal government is parang pwede siyang ipatanggal kasi reasonable siya for the people could agree or disagree, but it depends on the people kung bad ba yung junk food or hindi.
Types of speeches and public speaking. Different types of speeches according to purpose. The four basic types of speech according to purpose are to inform, to instruct, to entertain, and to persuade. These are not mutually exclusive of one another. You may have several purposes in mind when giving your presentation. Sige, next one. However, the principal purpose of a speech will generally fall into one of four basic types: informative, demonstrate, persuasive, and entertain. Next po. Informative speech is the speech delivered to provide interesting and useful information to your audience. It means that the informative speech is the one that intends to educate the audience of particular topic. Example, guest speaker presenting information to a group of students about how to apply for college. Next po. Demonstrative. This was many similarities with an informative speech. A demonstrative speech lies including a demonstration of how to do the things you are teaching. It means that the demonstrative speech is the one in which you will demonstrate to your audience how to do something. Example, how to deliver a speech in the funniest way. Next po. Persuasive. A persuasive speech works to convince people to change in some way. They think that they do something or to start doing something that they are not in currently doing. It means the persuasive speech is a specific type of speech in which the speaker has a goal of convincing the audience to accept his or her points of view. Example, lawyer divine closing argument in court. arguing about the interdependent mechanism of gravity of the crime. At the last type of next po. At the last type of speeches and public speaking is entertaining. The entertaining speech is a typical example of an entertaining speech. The speaker provides pressure and enjoyment that make the audience laugh or identify with anecdotal information. Example speech is weddings given by the maids of honor and best man. Next one. And the last topic is the several ways of delivering a speech. There are four types of speech delivering speech are read, memories, impromptu, extemporaneous. Next one. Read is the speech is read and the speaker reads the manuscript word for word to the audience. Originally, it was done from the handwritten paper manuscript. This is when a speaker reads a pre-written speech or word by word to audience. It is when a already prepared script is read verbatim. Next is memories. The memory style of speaking is when the manuscript is committed to memory and recited to the audience verbatim, word for word. In the day when allocation was taught, this was typical approach. Next is impromptu. Theoretically, an impromptu speech is made up on the spot. It is unprepared and unrehearsed, often ceremonial thoughts traced before means an acknowledgement and introduction offering thanks and so on fall into this category. Impromptu speeches are generally short and are often given with little or not notice. Notes are rare and the speaker generally looks directly at the audience. Next is contemporaneous. Sandwich between the memorized and impromptu delivery styles. You find the extemporaneous speech style for this style. The speech is not completely written out. It usually delivered with the keynote for reference. Most public speaking courses and books describe extemporaneous speeches are as carefully prepared and rehearsed but deliver using notes of key words and phrase to support the speaker. Phrasing is rehearsed, words are pre-choose, and the organization is full and well constructed. Next po.
Ay, wait lang no. Gusto ko lang mag-add.
Okay, sige.
So to make it very simple, there are four types of how to speech on your audience. So, the read is when the speaker has notes or ano yung kodigo para sa sasabihin niya. And memorize is when the speaker is uh, when the speaker is given a day before the speech and memorize it. And the impromptu is on the spot, yung opinion niya on the topic at the very same time. And yung lastly is pinagsama yung memorize at saka yung impromptu, which is yung iba yung may mga naka-highlights lang na word kung paano sila mag-i-speech. Tapos magdadagdag na lang sila ng sarili nilang saloobin dun sa topic. Ay. So while we are waiting for the icebreaker, I just want to I just want to discuss more our topic. Wait lang. So we had the various purposes of argumentative. It is when the two party or the two sides of people is arguing about something. Ano, meron lang it only has two outcome. It's either you accept the other side, the fact that is giving of the other side, or you will fight for your side. No? Kaya lang naman nagiging argumentative is because we have our different opinion sa mga bagay-bagay. For example, no, for example, yung presidential debate, yung mga president, yung tumakbo, yung nakaraang election is, di ba nag-aaway yung dalawang panig ni Lenny at saka si BBM. So, ganun lang siya. Kaya siya nagiging argumentative speech because magkaiba sila ng pinaniniwalaan. So, it's either tanggapin ng bawat side kung bakit nagustuhan ng other side yung kandidato nila, or paglaban nila na ipaglalaban nila kung ano yung pinaniniwalaan nila. So, about naman dun sa fourth principle purpose of speech, we have informative, demonstrate, persuasive, and entertaining. So, iba-iba kasi, di ba? Iba-iba tayo kung paano tayo mag-speech sa other people or sa audience. Some speaker, more on information sila. Seryoso lang, ganyan. And iba-iba eh. Katulad dun sa entertaining, sa example ni Antonio is dun sa wedding, 'di ba? Pag ang pangit mag-entertain ng mga ang tawag din kung sila na sasalita. Yung speaker, kapag pangit siya mag-entertain, nakaka-boring yung wedding. Pero kapag magaling yung delivered ng speaker, magaling siya mag-entertain, magaling siya yung magpaano ng oras, haba ng oras habang wala pa yung bride at saka yung groom is nalilibang nila tayo. So yun yung work nila. Doon sila, iba-iba sila, hindi sila more on inform about sa bride and groom kung ano nga ba yung mga pinagdaanan nila sa buhay. No, ini-entertain nila tayo in other way. Di ba meron sa mga kasal yung pinapakanta, mga ganyan yung guess the lyrics. Iba-iba sila ng way ng pag-entertain para malibang tayo, no? Tapos meron naman din nagde-demonstrate. Yun nga, di ba, need natin ng action sa ibang bagay na ni-explain natin o sinasabi natin for the audience to understand more. So, yung other people demonstrate it so that the audience will pay more attention. Mas maganda nga naman talaga yung pag nag-i-inform ka sa ibang tao is with action. Para alam, for example, di ba, pag ituturuan mo yung audience is yung anak ng ganon. Tapos, tinuturuan mo siya mag-basketball. So, dapat i-demonstrate mo. Hindi naman pwedeng ganito, ganyan, i-shoot mo. No, kailangan mo i-demonstrate din sa audience mo para maintindihan nila mas mabuti. So, iba-iba. So, there are different ways of how to deliver a sentence okay, andito na pala si Joella.
Icebreaker na po. Next slide po. Anyone who can give the three main types of speech. Anyone? libres, James Leo po. What are the given that three main types of speech?
Informative, persuasive, and argumentative.
Anyone? Ano pa po? Sino pa po yung nag-raise hand? Wala na po. So the three main types of speech are informative and persuasive and entertaining. Okay. So next question. According to Blank, communication is a process of meaningful interaction among human beings. More specifically, it is the process by which meanings are perceived and understanding are reached among human beings. Newman and Sommer define communication as an exchange of facts, ideas, opinions, or emotions by two or more persons. Guys, do you think is that person? Anyone po? Roylan.
McFarland.
Next question. How do you end a speech? So in your own opinion or your own thought, how would you end a speech if you were given a chance to speak in front of a lot of audience? So if you were given a chance to speak, to be a speaker in front of a lot of audience, how would you end your speech? Any opinion lang to ha, kasi iba-iba naman tayo ng tingin kung paano natin i-end ng speech. Sige na, kahit isa lang. Nakalis. Sige, Serado. How would you end a speech if you were given a chance?
So if I have given a chance to end my speech, for me I would think for the audience who
give their attention and their time to understand my speech, especially my intention also for my speech is also to share or inform my audience also.
Meron pa bang gusto? Meron pa ba mag-share ng opinion nila to how to end the speech? Okay, Bornales, sige.
I agree dun sa sinabi ni Ryla na we should end our speech na mag-say ng thank you sa kanila for listening to us. And also how do I end a speech from giving an inspirational quotation according to what I speech. Yun lang.
Yun, no? Kasi, yes, ayan yung madalas na ginagawa ng mga speakers sa mga event is leave a quotation and say thank you to the audience. So, madalas kasi kapag may di ako ma-attend ha, pero madalas sa mga ganyang events is nag-iiwan sila ng mga quotation and tumatatak talaga yun sa mga minds ng mga ng mga audience. So, sorry, nabubulol ako. So, tumatatak talaga yung quotation na iniiwan nila sa mga audience. Tapos yung mga audience is nai-inspire sila. So, isa yun sa mga good way to how to end the speech kasi tatatak. Ayun yung madalas yung mga bandang huli is yun yung tumatatak sa utak ng mga audience. And always say thank you because the audience lend time on what you are trying to say or to inform them, no? So, meron pa bang ibang idea on how to end the speech? Pumarada.
Sabi na po nila pero pwede rin po yung end ko yung speech ko with a conclusion po or a summary po para mas malinaw po yung gusto kong iparating sa kanila. Mas malinawan sila.
Thank you. Ay, meron pa ba? Wait lang. Ayun lang pala.